Hello, so I am here with a fellow marketer today. This is Jolie Hodgson from Mustard Marketing. Absolutely love her business name. And we're just going to chat briefly about Jolie's experience of working with me. We did some one-to-one to help her bring together her packages and hopefully scale her business from like freelance marketer where she's at now to attracting some more clients and hopefully having a little bit more time freedom. That was the goal. So, Jolie, thank you for being here today. I would love for you to share what it was that actually prompted you to decide to work with me and to work on your business.
Well, there's a long answer to that one. I think essentially, who doesn't love the hook? 20-hour week and eventually that cosseted six figure. So yeah, that was the hook for me. But for a number of months before that, as we all have, we've got lurkers that watch, do our masterclasses, take part in webinars, watch our content. So for me, it was your online persona, getting to know you as we do digitally. And yeah, that promise that, yeah, I think maybe if you're not aiming for the six figures, yeah, it's a hook. Um,
Yeah, it's interesting because
yeah,
not everyone is trying to get to six figures. Like, I know I talk about that because that's what I've done, but it's not always the goal. It definitely wasn't my goal when I started my like freelance
no.
marketing career. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about the time aspect as well, because I know that was something you were really keen to kind of get a handle on as well when we started working together. So sort of where you were at before, and if you've got one big takeaway, I guess, from the way I've helped you to streamline what you're doing, it'd be lovely if you could share that as well.
I think it's setting up some disciplines for yourself, whatever you choose those disciplines to be. What I did gain from you very quickly is that there's probably several things that you do as standard, irrespective of what's happening external family. Um, I don't do those. I'm probably not as disciplined as yourself, but I
Mhm.
could quickly see that starting to put those in place helps you focus. You're thinking of your goals and you're doing those same things every day. And yeah, you might not get responses, say, from your leads that you're following up with, but it gets you into that routine. It builds that habit. Um, I think also time wise, not so much about time management, but I've basically evolved or changed all of my clients from a time based business to a deliverables based business, which essentially I'm still doing the same hours. And the majority, well, my long standing clients are paying me the same, although that will be changing shortly.
Mhm.
Um, I have changed their thinking, I have changed their expectations. And for me, that's huge because I don't have to work said times, said hours, said days, which basically means if I wanted to work 7 days a week, not that I do, I can switch and change, and it's really family friendly, and it's the way myself and Mustard prefer to work. So that was a huge change for me.
Amazing.
Yeah, and one I'm really grateful for.
Yeah, I love that. And I remember we were talking about those family goals because, I've got a 6-year-old. Your kids are a bit older than that now, but you
Yeah,
still want that flexibility and everything that you want to do outside of working all the time. So I'm really glad that you took that on and you implemented it so quickly because that was a huge shift for you. And I think it's like the foundational piece to then be able to scale or take on more clients in a way that works for you. And it doesn't eat into all of your time. So that was really important.
yeah,
Well done.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so when we had the chat about working together, I remember actually it wasn't that you like decided straight away I'm going to work with Kelly and that was the conversation. So just talk if you wouldn't mind, around the decision to actually invest in working on yourself and the business because it wasn't like an immediate yes, let's do it, was it? You had to think about it. So if you wouldn't mind sharing that thought process and almost like why you nearly decided not to do it and then you did, I think that would be interesting to hear.
Well, that's probably a conversation for another time, but that's also something towards our period of working together that I've also started to work on, and that's money mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you've got to think, or certainly in my position, you've got to think the practicalities. And at that time when we started work, it has changed, not dramatically, but it has changed significantly since working with you. I wasn't in that position or that fortunate position to have that financial buffer that you hear a lot of people sometimes have.
Hmm.
And I just thought, once you put my mind at rest, once I understood fully what we'd be looking at, um, it basically was worth me taking that financial risk. Um, as I say, it went on my credit card, something that I'm not always comfortable doing, but sometimes you have to do that to move forward. And I'm glad I did. Yeah, I'm still paying the credit card off, but as we'll come on to later, I've got a new client. I've got a slightly different mindset, which I'm going to continually work on. I've got those new disciplines. And again, I wouldn't have put those in place necessarily if it hadn't meant working together. And the way you work, you're not like a drill master. You're this ray of
Thanks.
sunshine that you talk to in the morning, and you know what you have to do as a business person, as an individual. You know how, we've all got weaknesses and strengths. And you manage to magically kind of harness that, but also make people accountable, which is key for me, because otherwise, I'll just lose focus and, as we all do, go off
Yeah.
track. So, yeah.
Oh, thanks, Jolie. Ray of sunshine. That's nice. I put that on my business card. But there's two things there that I want to pull out. So we worked together for 3 months. So obviously, with the financial investment, like paying that off, I did a very similar thing at my stage of the journey where I also invested in some support. It's like you almost don't know what you don't know, and you need that person to help you like move past the block. So there's that piece around investing. Like different people have different levels of risk and whatever's comfortable for them.
Yeah.
But it's about having that roadmap to then bring in the clients and the revenue that you want. So I'm really pleased that we put together that roadmap for you and you know what that looks like going forwards. And then the second thing is the mindset piece. So I think this really shouldn't be
Huge.
underplayed because I say this all the time, but I can give you like the steps to take, or this is the marketing strategy to try, or let's shift your packages and do it this way. But if you haven't got the mindset sort of strength and that support to actually go and implement, it can all be for nothing, or you end up talking yourself out of it or not fully showing up. So the way that you embraced all of the mindset strategies and that I've shared with you has really got to be applauded, because you did go all in on that side as well. And I think it's safe to say you've got those tools now as well that you can notice when that might be happening again in the future.
Yeah.
And yeah, sort of coach yourself through it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Invaluable. And I think you don't really understand how you feel about it necessarily. We've all got different views on money and risk and
Yeah.
opportunity, though. That's the important thing that you've got to kind of focus on. Sometimes you do have to work with different people, and if they're any good, they're going to cost you a few bob. Simple as that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
true. Okay, so I would love for you to share where you feel really strong right now. And if there's a key thing or like a big learning that you wouldn't mind sharing, then that would be awesome as well.
I just think the age that I am, not that it should be about age, but I was basically kind of a traditional marketer.
Yeah.
So for me in my head, and absolutely marketing does follow a kind of traditional process. I was quite set in the way that I would approach that. So for me, working with you, apart from all those other wonderful things that I've just alluded to, was it doesn't have to always be that way. You don't have to do the 6 steps, stick
Hmm.
to them rigidly, go away, prep the perfect thing.
Hmm.
Um, which I have touched on with other coaches, with beta testing and basically testing that there is a demand for what you're potentially going to offer. And it may not be perfect or even written or produced. But I think that was the real biggie for me. And the fact that you do it so publicly and transparently just makes you think, well, why not me? Why can't I do that?
Hmm.
If Dave said something yesterday, sorry, Dave, one of my clients, it gives me an idea. It's either an add on service for Dave or a new service for someone else. Chances are businesses, although very, very different, all have relatively the same needs. They either
Hmm.
need eyes on their products or services or them, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, I think thinking out of the box, doing things differently, feeling brave enough to do those things differently and a little bit more visibly, which I've got a way to go on that front. But, you know, it's all a work in progress. So yeah, that's the big thing for me.
Amazing. I love that. And, we really tapped into that excitement of trying new things. Like, because marketing doesn't stand still. This is why I love working in marketing and love working with other marketers, because there are so many things that we can test and try. And actually, if it doesn't work out, there's all the data. Why didn't it work? What can we do differently next time? So absolutely love that. Like, for me, that is an amazing takeaway. I'm glad to have shared that kind of entrepreneurial spirit. I don't know what it is, but that willingness to test things out and like throw something at the wall, does it stick? But yeah, but also doing it in a considered way, because you're now looking at what's working for other clients, what opportunities there are, and then putting those to market as well. So that's really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Jolie. Well, you've been a mega client, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. So stay
Me
tuned,
too.
everybody, and go follow Jolie. She's over on LinkedIn, Jolie Hodgson, and she's Mustard Marketing Services. So thank you so much. And I'm sure we will be speaking again very soon.
Thank you, Kelly. Take care.